is calorie counting so stressful, confusing, and laborious? Counting calories can be stressful and confusing for several reasons. Firstly, it can be difficult to accurately estimate portion size and measure calorie intake. This is due to the amount of conflicting information that is available online. Do we measure cooked or uncooked food? Do we weigh it? Do we use measuring cups? Do we have the label there and actually look into what a portion is? Or do we actually rely on what the online apps are saying, which can be different? This leads to uncertainty about whether you are actually consuming the right amount of food or you are guesstimating. Additionally, there can be a lot of conflicting information about what constitutes a healthy portion, right? The online TDEE calculators, which is actually the total daily exercise expenditure calculators, are highly flawed, which can add to the confusion. And if I'm going to be honest, there's so many TDEE calculators and they differ so acutely that it can drive you nuts. Good morning, friends. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jessica and I engage in conversations about weight loss, weight-related disease education, and how to achieve weight loss in an affordable way that honors our way of living. When it comes to weighing foods, there can be a difference between the weight of the food when it's cooked versus when it's uncooked. This is primarily due to the changes in water content. For example, when you cook certain foods, the amount of water can be lost, leading to decrease in overall weight. For if you're like doing ground beef, I read that it's better to do it uncooked because then all the water gets out of the ground beef. Then there's your rice, which you also should be measured raw because it actually absorbs water. So it can be really, really confusing. And at what point do you do what? Right? So if you're tracking your food intake for nutritional purposes, it is generally best to weigh your food in its raw and uncooked state. This allows for more accurate tracking since the nutritional content listed in the databases is typically for raw ingredients. However, if you prefer to weigh your food after cooking, it is important to consider the impact of cooking on portion sizes and adjust your measurements according to the accurate tracking. Easy said than done. Online tracking apps do have this difference. It's crazy how different they can be. Weighing food does help with adhering to serving sizes and portion recommendations, which is essential for managing calorie and macronutrient intake. If you don't know what macronutrient intake is your protein, your fats, your carbohydrates, and then there's the alcohol, which is a separate one. This can be particularly useful if you're working towards a specific health goal or fitness goal. Weighing food when tracking can be important for a few reasons, which I aligned before. It allows for more accurate portion control and nutritional tracking. Estimating portion sizes visually can be quite inaccurate, and measuring by weight ensures that there's more precise understanding of the amount of food that you're consuming, right? Because there's a lot of colloquial information, or people usually say, well, I only eat 1,200 calories when as a matter is closer to 2,000. That's because we're poor visual measurers. Not only that though, we have highly dense foods that can have a lot of hidden calories. So yes, while someone can tell you, I do not eat that much, you have to believe them because it is true. It could be hidden calories like the oils, the sauces, and things that are you wouldn't know. That's why home cooking is much more a controllable environment than restaurants, right? So that is where we cannot. That's why, you know, cooking more at home is just much more promoting of that caloric oversight. And while the pressure of consistently monitoring and restricting calories can create anxiety and stress around food, which can be counterproductive to overall health and well-being because it can take a real toll in your mental health. You have to sometimes just detach yourself from actually calorie counting every calorie you consume, and just step away from that and then come back if you have the mental health capacity. It is really important to remember that focusing on overall balance, nutrition, and mindful eating can often be more sustainable and less stressful approach to maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Having said that, when I reach my goal, which is 20 pounds, so 160, I will be beginning my intuitive eating journey, which, stay tuned, I will record. So I wish you health and happiness, and I'll see you next week.